Hello students, welcome to this session of Environment and Ecology. I am Rajvardhan, your faculty for Environment and Ecology. So today we'll be starting with previous year questions related to environment and ecology. And today we will focus upon the questions asked from ecology section of environment and ecology. Previous year questions are very important for any student because previous year questions along with syllabus acts as a lighthouse because they guide us towards our goal and they help us to make sure that our studies remain on path. And that's why for any student, syllabus as well as previous year questions are quite important. So one should always discuss and one should always focus upon syllabus and the previous year questions by the UPSC itself. So in this session, we will start with our discussion of previous year questions related to ecology. Then we will shift towards previous year questions of biodiversity, then climate change, then pollution, then international organizations, etc. Fine. So with this, I hope you will get clarity about the types and the way in which UPSC is asking questions from environment and ecology. These previous year question videos as well as syllabus will help you to remain on the path towards success. So let us begin with this very important session of previous year questions. Firstly, the question that we are going to discuss is from ecology section. And the first question is from year 2010. First question is, let us discuss from the point of view of evolution of living organisms. So this question is about the evolution of living organisms. Which one of the following is the correct sequence of evolution? Options are A, otter, then tortoise, then shark. B, shark, tortoise and otter. C, tortoise, shark and then otter. And D, shark, otter and then tortoise. So the question is about evolution. Evolution of life on the Earth's surface. And we know that evolution of life on the Earth's surface started with single cell organisms. After single cell organisms, multicell organisms evolved. And under multicellular organisms, there are different types of organisms that have formed a sequence of evolution. So evolution of life on the Earth has followed a particular sequence. Firstly, single cellular organisms evolved. After single cellular organisms, multicellular organisms evolved. After multicellular organisms, it was fishes in the aquatic ecosystem that evolved. After fishes, it was amphibians, then reptiles, then birds, and finally mammals evolved on the face of the earth. Right? So this is the order of evolution and this is very important from your exam's point of view. You should try to remember this order of evolution. Firstly, single cellular organisms, followed by multicellular organisms, followed by fishes in aquatic ecosystem, then amphibians, then reptiles, then birds, and finally mammals evolved on this earth as a part of evolution process. And this question talks about three organisms. First is otter, second is tortoise, and third is shark. Right? So out of these organisms, otters are considered as mammals. Right? So otters are the mammals and they evolved at the last as compared to shark and tortoise, right? So otters have evolved at the last. Then shark is a fish, obviously. And that's why, as this particular sequence tells us, it is sharks or fishes that have evolved before amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. So it should be shark as the first choice of evolution, right? So suppose in this question, it tells us about shark as the, so you know that, so let us consider that you know that sharks are evolved at the first instance in evolution process. So you should eliminate directly these options because you know that it is shark that has evolved as a first organism amongst these three, right? Thereafter, you know that it is otters that have evolved at the last because otters are considered as mammals. Otters are considered as mammals. Fine. So otters are last in this particular option amongst B and C. And that's why it should be your answer. Fine. So how we have reached up to this particular answer? Here what we know that fishes have evolved before amphibians, reptiles, birds, etc. Fine. And shark amongst these three is a type of fish. And that's why it should be at the first place amongst these organisms if we consider evolution. And that's why we eliminated otter and tortoise as the first place of answer if we consider evolution, right? So we eliminated A and C and we were left with B and D. Now you have the idea that it is mammals that have evolved at the last in the evolution sequence. And you have idea that tortoise are not mammals, right? Tortoise are not mammals. And hence, it should not be at the last position. It should not be at the last position in the evolution of these three organisms because tortoise are not the mammals. And hence, you should eliminate this option as well. And that's why your answer is B. Firstly, sharks evolved. After sharks, it was tortoise and finally otter, right? So the answer for this question is B. Answer is B. Fine. So I hope you have understood this question and at your places you can read this particular discussion. Next now. Next question is, a pesticide which is a chlorinated hydrocarbon is sprayed on a food crop. The food chain is, so what question is telling us? A particular pesticide has been spreaded on a food crop and that food crop is a part of a food chain and that food chain is firstly food crop, obviously, as it is the producer, then rat, followed by snake, and then hawk. So that is the food chain, and we have spreaded chlorinated hydrocarbon on this particular food crop. Next part of the question. In this food chain, the highest concentration of the pesticide would accumulate in which one of the following? Fine. So what question is asking? In this particular food chain, this chlorinated hydrocarbon, which is a contaminant, its concentration will be high amongst which trophic level or amongst which organism the concentration of chlorinated hydrocarbon will be high. Options are A, food crop, B, rat, C, snake, and D, hawk. So let us discuss this question. This question is about two very important concepts related to the ecology, and that is bioaccumulation and bio magnification, right? So whenever we talk about food chain, it is not that only energy is transmitted amongst different trophic levels of a food chain, but apart from energy, certain contaminants are also passed through this particular trophic level. And that transmission of contaminants is considered under bioaccumulation and biomagnification, right? So this question is about bioaccumulation and biomagnification. When we talk about bioaccumulation, what do we mean by bioaccumulation? So in order to explain bioaccumulation, let us take help of this particular diagram. So in this diagram, you can see that first part is about the bioaccumulation. So let us discuss that part. And the dark blue is a level of contaminant. Fine. So there is a fish, and that fish right now, or at this stage, at first stage, do not contain any contaminant. But at the second stage, contaminants have entered into the body of these fishes, right? Now, as these fishes grow with time, the level of contaminant also increases in the body of fishes. You can see in these stages. At first stage, there was nothing inside the body of fish. At second stage, some contaminant has entered, and with time, that contaminant is getting increased. Right? With time, the concentration of that contaminant is getting increased day by day. And that is nothing but bioaccumulation. So let me define what is bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation is the increase in the concentration of contaminants inside the body of an organism with time. And as the concentration of that contaminant increases inside the body of an organism with time, it starts affecting that organism negatively, right? So that is bioaccumulation, wherein the contaminant is getting accumulated inside the body and the concentration is increasing day by day. Second is biomagnification. So similar to bioaccumulation, biomagnification is also about the increase in the concentration of contaminants. But in biomagnification, we are not focusing upon one specific organism. Rather, we talk about a food chain with respect to which the concentration of contaminants are increasing. For example, in this food chain. So initially, there are these, let's say these are crustaceans, one of the basic organisms in the or primary consumers in the food chain of aquatic ecosystem. These crustaceans are being consumed by fishes. Now, initially the concentration of contaminants inside the body of crustaceans is quite low. But as these crustaceans are being consumed by these fishes, the concentration has increased. Now, these fishes are being consumed by this, let's say this is sea lion, right? So in this body of sea lion, the concentration of contaminant has increased. Now, as these sea lions are, or let's say these are seals, whatever it may be, as these seals are being consumed by this polar bear, here again in the body of polar bear, the concentration of contaminant is high, right? So amongst all these organisms in this food chain, the concentration of contaminant is high in the body of topmost consumer. And that's why the question that we are discussing is related to biomagnification. magnification, right? So let us discuss this question. Let us take that food chain that is being given in the question itself. So the question is, in the question we have given this food chain. First is food crop. So we have spread this chlorinated hydrocarbon on this food crop. Then food crop is consumed by rat, right? So food crop is consumed by rat. So concentration has increased in the body of rat. Then it is the snake. It is the snake. So again concentration has increased in snake. And lastly, it is hawk. And we will have highest concentration of contaminant in snake, in hawk, right? Why? Because hawk is the topmost consumer in this food chain. And as per the principle of biomagnification, we will have highest amount of concentration of this contaminant in the topmost consumer, right? And that's why whenever a particular pesticide is sprayed on food crop, and if that food crop is consumed by the primary consumer, which is in turn consumed by secondary, and which is in turn consumed by tertiary consumer, then it is tertiary consumer in which we will have highest amount of concentration of that pesticide. And hence answer to this question is D, hawk, right? So I hope you have understood this question. So this diagram is quite important. This diagram is quite important.